links were Group 7 from Business Introductory, University of Lampung International Class 2022, majoring in Accounting. In this subject, we were lectured by Dr. Dorothy, M.H. Pandjaitan, S.A. M.Si. Let's speak more about our group. My name is Mishelle Nesyanna.
And my name is Intan Nurvadilla.
My name is Anggun Cahyanti.
My name is Keisha, Justina, Siagian.
So let's get started.
So, in this opportunity, I'm gonna explain about individual ethics. Ethics are based on individual beliefs and social concepts varied by person, situation, and culture. 1. There is ambiguity, the law and the real world. Societies adopt formal laws that reflect ethical standards, however, real world situations are something difficult to interpret. And 2. There is individual values and codes. Individual personal codes of ethics are determined by a combination of factors beginning in childhood.
Business and managerial ethics. Talking about this submaterial, we're gonna dig more about the standards or behavior that guide individual manager in their works. The first one consisted of behavior toward employees, organization, and other economic agents. First one, the behavioral towards the employee. It covers hiring and firing, wages and working, condition and privacy, and also respect. And towards the organization, mostly talking about and guiding about conflict of interest, confidentiality, and honesty of ethical issues. And the third one, towards the economic agents. That's conducting the relationship between the firm and a number of primary agents of interest, such as customer, investors, suppliers, competitors, stockholders, dealers, and union.
Next is assessing ethical behavior. A simple process that is often recommended when making ethical decisions is for the person to gather relevant information and analyze the facts to determine the most appropriate moral values. Ethical norms include utility, rights, justice, and caring.
Company practices and business ethics. Many companies set up codes of conduct and develop clear ethical positions on how the firm and its employees will conduct business. The single most effective step a company can take is to demonstrate top management support of ethical standards. 1. Adopting written codes. Almost all major corporations have written codes for ethics. 2. Instituting ethics programs. Ethical responses can be learned through experience. 3. Companies must take the responsibility for educating employees more and more. 4. Companies like Boeing and ExxonMobil require managers to go through regular ethics. 5. Training to remind them of the importance of ethical decision making and to update them on current laws and regulations.
Now, I'm gonna explain about social responsibility. What is social responsibility? Social responsibility is every approach by a firm to strike a balance between its responsibility to a group and the individual. There is 4 stakeholder model of responsibility is customer, employees, investor, and suppliers. A manager has responsibility to balance many interests for stakeholders. Now, let us talk about responsibility. Who days for responsibility involve responsibility to environment, to a customer, to employees, and to an investor. For example, responsibility to environment can be involved as air pollution and other air pollution. To the employees, it has responsibility to give a social legal commitment. So, for all of the firm implementing social responsibility programs, what is social responsibility programs? It's a firm strategy engagement with conscious design for work healthy environment such as employee welfare. Implementing social has two parts involve approach social responsibility and social responsibility to a small business. And there is 2 types of relationship between organization and government. There's government influence organization, which means governments a type to make responsibility, both direct and indirect. And the two, organization has influenced government, through personal contact, politician, action, and purpose. So, that's all I can explain.
Hello fellas, congratulations for finishing chapter 2. And now, let's continue to chapter 3 still with me, your favorite girl Mishelle Nesyanna. In chapter 3, we're gonna talk about entrepreneurship, new ventures, and business ownership. In the world of workers, there's a lot of differences. The one we're going to talk about in this very moment is small business and its impact to the economy and environment. Including these three vital sections: job creation, innovation, and its contribution to the big business. Small business can only hire or employ 1,500 persons or less, majorly focused on providing service. Despite that, there's many business which focusing on retailing, constructing, wholesaling, finance, insurance, manufacturing, transportation, and many others. Entrepreneurs are people who assume the risks of business ownership. Entrepreneur is the process of seeking business opportunity under condition of risks. Once again, it's a risk. Starting and operating a new business. First, understanding distinctive competence. 1. Identifying niches in established market. 2. Identifying new market. And 3. The first move advantage. Second, crafting a business plan. Setting goals and objectives. Your business plan must have goal. What would you like to achieve? The object you're selling and what are the steps? 3. And self-forecasting. Forecasting the sales rate will be a big point to decrease of failure to your business. Always watch it closely. 4. Financial planning. Every section of life needs a good financing to endure failure and maintain your way to the successful path. Make sure you get a backup revenue. Starting the small business. First, buying an existing business. You can always buy a brand or its share stock. The bigger, the better. 2. Franchising. On this field, many foods and beverages offer a simple way to get money, which is franchising. All said and all you need to do is put your money on your table. 3. Starting from the scratch. We're going the hard way. The other two seems easier than the idea. Creating from the scratch will require a lot more and it might have affect your mind. It requires originality and lots of improvement. Besides that, all the information I have shared, which making this sounds way harder, but it also offer a big profit once you set the right or ownership or patency. 4. Financing the small business. Many sources for business financing are available. Personal research account for more than 2 until thirds of all money invested. Smaller portion of funding come from banks, independent investors, and also government loans. Venture capital, SBA, financial program, and other sources of financing. That will be all from the chapter 3. And please
Trends, successes, and failures in new ventures. Several factors account for the thousands of new business startups in the United States each year are emergence of e-commerce, crossovers from big business, opportunities for minorities and women, global opportunities, and better survival rates. 4 general factors contribute to small business failures are managerial incompetence, neglect, weak control systems, and insufficient capital. 4 general factors contribute to small business success are hard work, drive, and dedication, market demand for products or services being produced, managerial competence, and luck. Now, let's talk about proprietorship, partnership, and cooperatives. First, sole proprietorship. A sole proprietorship is owned and usually operated by one person. The advantages of sole proprietorships are freedom, ease in farming, and low startup costs. The disadvantages of sole proprietorships are unlimited liability, lack of continuity, and a possible lack of resources. Second, partnerships. The advantage of partnerships are the ability to grow with the addition of new talent and money, few legal requirements, and tax advantages. The disadvantages of partnerships are unlimited liability, in that each partner may be liable for the debts incurred in the name of the partnership, lack of continuity, and difficulty of transferring ownership. Third, cooperatives. Cooperatives combine the freedom of sole proprietorship with the financial power of corporations. Next is corporations. The advantages of incorporation are limited liability, continuity, and the ability to raise money. The disadvantages of incorporation are ease of transferring ownership, control, legal requirements, and startup costs are drawbacks of incorporation. Types of corporations. Stock is held by only a few people and is not available for sale to the public in a closely held or private corporation. When shares are publicly issued, the firm becomes a publicly held or public corporation. The S corporation is a hybrid of a private corporation and partnership. Now, let's talk about Chapter 4, Understanding the Global Context of Business. The world economy is becoming a single interdependent system through the process of globalization. The total volume of international trade is more than $19.3 trillion. The World Bank uses per capita incomes to make distinctions among countries. Current classification include first, high-income countries, second, upper-middle-income countries, third, low-middle-income countries, and fourth, low-income countries. Next, trade agreements and alliances. Virtually every nation has formed treaties with other nations to promote free trade. As examples, there are North American Free Trade Agreement, the European Union, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, and the World Trade Organization.
The factors involved in deciding to do business internationally and in selecting the appropriate levels of international involvement and international organizational structure. A company wishing to sell products in foreign markets should consider the following question. Is there a demand for its products abroad? If so, must it adapt those products for international consumptions? Companies might also go international through searching on offshoring. After deciding to go international, a firm must decide on its level of involvement. Several levels are possible. 1. Exporters and importers. 2. International firms. And 3. Multinational firms. How differences in import-export balances, exchange rates, and foreign competition determine the ways in which countries and business respond to the international environment. A nation's balance of trade is the total economic value of all products that it exports minus the total economic value of all products that it imports. When a country's imports exceed its exports, it has a negative balance of trade and it suffers a trade deficit. A positive balance of trade occurs when exports exceed imports, resulting in a trade surplus. Exchange rates, the rate of which one nation's currency can be exchanged for that of another, are a major influence on international trade. Most countries use floating exchange rates in which the value of one currency relative to that with market conditions. The factors involved in deciding to do business internationally and in selecting the appropriate levels of international involvement and international organizational structure. The role and importance of the cultural environment in international business. A country's culture includes all the values, symbols, beliefs, and language that guide behavior. Cultural values and beliefs are often unspoken. They may even be taken for granted by those who live in a particular country. Cultural factors do not necessarily cause problems for managers when the cultures of two countries are similar. Difficulties can arise. However, when there is little overlap between the home culture of a manager and the culture of the country in which business is to be conducted, cultural differences between countries can have a direct impact on business practice. Some cultural differences between countries, such as the meaning of time, can be even subtler and yet have a major impact on business activities. Language itself can be an important factor beyond the obvious and clear barriers posed by people who speak different languages. Subtle difference in meaning can also play a major role. Managers in international business also have to understand that there are differences in what motivates people in different cultures. Social orientation is a person's beliefs about the relative importance of the individual versus groups to which that person belongs. A second important dimension is power orientation, the beliefs that people in a culture hold about the appropriateness of power and authority differences in hierarchies, such as business organizations. A stance orientation is the feeling individuals have regarding uncertain and ambiguous situations. Goal orientation is the manner in which people are motivated to work toward different kinds of goals. Time orientation is the extent to which members of a culture adopt a long-term versus a short-term outlook on work, life, and other elements of society. Some of the ways in which economic, legal, and political differences among nations affect international business. Economic differences among nations can be fairly pronounced and can affect business in a variety of ways. Common legal and political issues in international business include quotas, tariffs, subsidies, local content laws, and business practice laws. Quotas restrict the number of certain products that can be imported into a country, and a tariff is a tax that a country imposes on imported products. Subsidies are government payments to domestic companies to help them better compete with international companies. Another legal strategy to support a nation's business is implementing local content laws that require that products sold in a country be at least fairly made there. Business practice laws control business activities within their jurisdiction and create obstacles for businesses trying to enter new markets. The term protectionism describes the practice of protecting domestic businesses at the expense of free market competition. Although some economists argue that legal strategies such as quotas, tariffs, and subsidies are necessary to protect domestic firms, others argue that protectionism ultimately hurts consumers because of the resulting higher prices. A final obstacle to international business is that business practices that are legal in one country might not be legal in another.
So that's all from us.
Thank you for watching!